Welcome, creative mind. Welcome to another sewing project. If you're new here, you're welcome. My name is Marvelous, and on this channel, I share pattern drafting, sewing tutorials, and everything fashion related that make fashion easy and fun. If all of this sound like what you're interested in, then do well to hit the subscription button, turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I post new tutorial. Today's project, we're going to be showing you how to come about this circle shorts with pleats. Without further ado, let's get right into the drafting, the cutting, and also the stitching. So for this project, we're going to be making use of this plain fabric, and we're also going to be using our basic sewing tools and also pattern paper, because we're going to be drafting this short first. And you know, this short has a flay at the down part and it also has a pleat. Let's get right into the drafting. So my pattern paper here, I've gone ahead to just map out my starting point, and I'm going to be adding a 1.5 inches band to this short later on. So I'm going to be taking my measurements after the short. So my crotch depth is actually 13 inches, but I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches extra to it because this is a free short. We don't want it so tight. So you can go ahead and do 2 inches, or you can do 2.5 if you want it extra free, but I added 1.5 inches. Okay, and you know that I'm going to be adding a band to it. So at my crotch depth, I'm going to mark my hip measurement, that is my hip circumference. So I'm also going to be mapping it at my front depth like so, and I'm going to be connecting it with a straight line. So at that point, I'm going to be marking out my round waist measurement, but before that, I'll just highlight my lines for you to see properly. So I'm going to be mapping my round waist measurements because I'm adding a zipper to this short, and I'm also going to be adding 1 inch for my dart. So I'll connect that point down to my crotch line like so. So the next point is to determine how long I want the short to be. So for me, I'm doing 19 inches. You can do more, you can do less, but I'm doing 19 inches for this short. So I'm going to connect with a straight line like so, and that was going to be my short length. So the next step now is to go ahead and map out our darts, and to do that, I'll mark my nipple to nipple measurements and I'll map it. I'll be going 1/2 inch for my dart on both sides, and the length of the dart is going to be 5 inches. I'm going to connect this line, and I'm also going to connect my darts as well, my 1/2 inches darts down to the 5 inches. So the next step now, at my crotch length, I'm going to extend my crotch by 2 inches like I'm doing here. Then I'll go up by 1 inches and also go at that point by 2 inches, just to have that curviness at that point for this short. So the next step now is to map out what I have at my crotch length and get the midpoints. I think I got about 6.7 inches. I'll also just map it and note it there. I will also note this at my short length as well and rule a straight line like so. Then at my length, I'm going to go out by 1 inches. This is just to give my short a curve at that point. Then I'm just going to curve it from my crotch line down to my short length like I did here. So whatever I have left at that point, I'll map it at the other side. I'll just mark it and I'll measure it, then map it at the other side as well. This is just to give it accurate measurements and also align the short as well. So I'm just going to connect from my crotch down to my length, and I'll highlight the length of my shorts for you to see. Okay, so this is going to be our front pattern for the shorts. So this is what it looks like. I just wanted you to see it from this view. So the next step now is to go ahead and cut out our shorts. So now we're going to be drafting the back part of the short. I'm just going to place in my front piece on another plain pattern paper, and the first step for us to do now is to connect our crotch by 2 inches for the back. So I'll just map up 2 inches and I'll go ahead and connect it. After connecting it, I'll go down at that point by half an inch. I'll just go down by half an inch because of our bum at the back. Then I'll just connect it again to that half an inch that I drew, like I'm doing here. I'll just connect it like so. So the next step now, because this is the back piece we are trying to draft out, at that point I'll go out by 2 inches like I'm doing here. Then I also go up by 1 inches just to enable our bum have enough room to move. Then that 2 inches that I took out, I'll replace it at the other end. Then I'll connect it, I'll highlight it for you to see. Then I'll connect it from that 1 inches I drew, just like so, and that's going to serve as our new point for our back. So that 2 inches, I'm just going to extend it all the way down to the side of my back pattern like I'm doing here. This is also going to serve as allowances and also help our shorts to have a very free look. So I'm just going to connect it all the way down to the length of the shorts like I'm doing here. So the next step now that we're going to be taking is to also extend by 2 inches at that point, and I'll connect my back crotch down like so and highlight it all the way. So I'm now going to connect that point that I map out. You remember I didn't mark exactly where my front panel started from, so I'm just going to be connecting it with a curve all the way to my crotch line with my curved rule like I'm doing here. So that's how our short is going to be. The next step now is to go ahead and cut out our back pattern like so. We're going to be including our darts to it as well. We're going to be including our darts by the time we're done cutting out. So these are our back patterns. So next I'll just map out my nipple to nipple measurements just like I did for the front panel, and I'm going to be marking 5 inches length, then half an inch for my dart leg, and I'm going to be connecting it all the way down to that 5 point length that I drew for my darts. So after this step, the next step is to go into the proper making of the short. So firstly, I'm going to close my darts. You can use your pins, but I'm just going to tape it with this tape. Then I'm going to extend that line down to the down part of the short. So the first thing we're going to be working on is to determine how wide we want the down part to be. That is the flare of the shorts, how wide we want it to be. So we're going to just go ahead and slash it and we'll spread it. Okay, we'll also do the same for the back pattern. I'll close the darts with my tape. I'll draw a straight line, and I'm going to draw a straight line like so down to the length of the short, then I'll slash it open. So we're going to be placing this on another pattern paper, then we are going to be determining how wide we want it to be. So for me, I'll be doing 12 inches wide. You can do 10 inches or you can do even 13 to 14 inches, depend on how wide you want the short to come out looking. So I'm just going to pin down all the way like so, and I'm going to ensure that this down part matches. So I'll just curve it with my marker like so before cutting this out. So I'll just cut it out. So I'll also do the same thing for the back piece, because I'm trying not to make this video so long, so I'll just go ahead and also do for the back as well. I just went ahead to join some pattern, some paper that I had laid together, then I'm just going to connect. I'll also place my front piece to ensure that the curve aligns. Okay, we don't want to have one side being longer than the other, so I'm just going to do that, and I'm going to cut out as well, just the same way we cut for the front. So now we're going to work on our pleats, and to do that, this 12 inches wide that we map out, I'll note the midpoint, which is 6 inches. Then I'll also note the midpoints at that area, and I'll just take out this other part. Then I'm going to be drawing a straight line like so. So now we are going to completely open our shorts into two. Okay, we'll open it into two because we want to get our pleats. So I'll just go ahead and label it so you don't mix your pattern paper. So I'm going to place it on my fabric now like so. Then I'm going to be going, so for my pleats I'll be doing 6 inches wide for my pleats. You can do 8 inches or you can even do 5 inches. It depends on you. So before I widen it, I'm just going to mark it so that it will be accurate. So I'm just going to mark it, and I'm going to ensure that the markings align with the other side so as to have a straight placement. So I'll just remark it again just to ensure that everything is in place properly, because we don't want to have any shortage, or we don't even want to have any excess at this point. So ensure that you take your time to place it correctly, ensure that everything is aligning. I'll check again before I cut out. So if it did not align, I'll go ahead and replace it like I'm doing here. So just take your time and place it properly. After placing it, the next I'm going to go ahead and include 1/2 inch on the side. I'm going to be including 1 inch, sorry, at the side for my zipper allowance. Remember I told you I'm going to be adding a zip to the side of this short. So I'll just do that, and I'll add 1/4 inch at my crotch area for my joining, and I'll do 1 inch at the side just like I said I would. Then also go ahead and do 1/2 inch at the top of the short so as to enable you to join your bands together. So I'll just go ahead and cut out, and after cutting out quickly, I'll also go ahead and take note of where my pleat is going to start from. So I'll do that by notching these points. I'll also mark it with my chalk just to be extra sure. So I'll go ahead and note the midpoint as well. I'll also do same for the down parts, although the down parts wasn't really necessary, but I just wanted to just do it so that when I'm ironing, I'll know where I want the ghetto to be. So I'll just open it up, take out my pattern paper, and I'll spread the front pattern for you to see. So the next step is I'll also just quickly use my chalk to mark out where my pleat is starting from, and also note the center point again. Then I'll do same again for the downside, although this downside was it's not really necessary. The most important part is the front. So I'm just doing this because I want to first of all iron my pleats together before joining the shorts. So on my ironing table, what I'll do is to just go ahead and iron it like so, all the way straight down, and I'll also iron it like so. So I'm joining the pleats together. So that other side I joined it to the center point, and I did same again for the down part, although the down part was not really necessary. I just wanted it this way so that by the time I'm ironing, it's going to just lap very well. So I'll do that, and I'll take out the pin from the downside, and I'll top stitch on the waist area. So I'll just go ahead and iron it, and I'll also do the same for the other side of the front. I'll join the sides together. I'll map out the 6 inches. I'll take note of the center point, then I'll fold it that side to the center point and the other side to the center point, just to have an accurate pleat. And I'll go to my ironing table, I will iron them in place, and I'll top stitch to hold my pleat down. So quickly, I'm just going to rush this part. So this is the back part. I'm just going to do the exact same thing I did for the front at the back. I'll slash it open like so. I'll label it, and I'll place on my fabric just like I'm doing here. I'll mark out my 6 inches for my pleats, and I'll take notes of the center so as to have an accurate placement, and I'll go ahead and pin down. Then I'll take all my allowances and I'll just quickly cut out. I'll take notes of where my pleat is going to start from, just basically everything we did for the front piece. I'll open it, I'll join them in place, and I'll go ahead and iron them. So I iron this in place. I'll iron the back as well, and we'll come back for the next step. Our short is almost ready, guys. So this is what it looks like by the time I was done ironing. You can see how beautiful it's looking. This is the front piece. So I'm just going to place it together, and I'll go ahead and join the crotch. I'll also do the same for the back of this pant. I'll go ahead and join the crotch. You can see how beautiful our short has already formed out. So this is what it looks like by the time I was done joining. So the next step now is to place our front and back panel, our front and back piece together. Don't forget to also label your back and front. So I'm going to go ahead and join them together, but before then I'll measure how long my zip is going to be taking. So I'm just going to take note of the band I'm adding before I measure where my zip will begin from. So I'll go ahead and join the sides of my short. So after joining the sides of my short, the next step is to fix my zipper. But before I fix my zipper, I'll go ahead and join this point together. Okay, so just join this points together, and then we'll go ahead and fix our zipper. But before I fix my zipper, I'll take note that what I have at my waist area is exactly my waist measurement, because I don't want to have a short that it's not going to be sitting well at my waist. So I'll take note of what I have there. I'll measure it around to ensure that it's exactly my waist measurements. So I went ahead to close the length, the down part, the hem part of my short, and I'll measure for my band. So my band, I've gone ahead to give it a good press and also include interfacing to it. So I'm going to bring my short now, and I'm going to be joining it the way we always join our band. Firstly, I'm going to be joining it at the wrong side. First, I'll sew it on the wrong side before flipping it over to the right side to top stitch neatly on it. So at that point, I'll close it up just to close the zipper part, okay? So after fixing it, this is what it looks like. You can see how neat it's looking. I'm going to be fixing a hook at that point. That's basically for this tutorial, guys. I hope you learned something from this project. Thank you so much for watching and sticking with me to the end, and I'll see you in my next project. Bye.